Good morning, CT, Brandon, and others, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. My name's Michael.
And I'm Amberley.
And we want to welcome you to the New Year's Eve Sunday morning online special. It has not been branded, so interject your own branding right now, but it's awesome.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
So what we're going to do this morning is we are going to present to you some amazing conversations our staff has had this last little while, reflecting back on the year that was and some of the amazing things that we saw God do, or maybe they just encouraged us, or maybe we just thought they were cool. And we're even going to share some of the music from Christmas for Everyone. So
Wonderful.
It's going to be amazing.
Amazing. So
Amazing.
good. So great.
So let's get to our first set of conversations, and
See you in a bit.
see you in a bit.
Good morning, Pastor Karen.
Good morning, Pastor Angela. How are you?
I'm good. Almost Happy New Year.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I've been attending and involved at CT for almost 3 years now, and I came on staff as kids pastor at the end of August, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind transition, but it's been great being downstairs with the kids on Sunday mornings, with just our amazing team of kidsmen leaders and volunteers downstairs.
I know what whirlwind feels like. We are heading into our second year, or almost second year of being here, and it does not feel like it's been that long. But all the experiences has just been very, very good, and I'm so grateful for that. So welcome to the team. I'm excited to have you on board.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, one of our big outreach events that we have at CT is the Halloween parking lot party, and that was one of the things I was given responsibility for in a little way. And it's incredible just to see so many people come together to pull off a fun event like that in our community. And this year was a lot colder than last year, so cold. So we had to make some quick last-minute adjustments just with the temperatures, because I don't know if you know, but bouncy castles don't really work well when it's close to 0 degrees. So
I found that out before our parking lot party. So
yeah. Yeah, even with the cold temperatures, though, we saw upwards of like 750 plus people coming through the parking lot, and lots of unfamiliar faces. And so it's great to pull off fun events like that. But I just love how it gives the opportunity for an open door for people to see the church as just a safe place and a welcoming place for families, and just a place that loves without expectation. So
that's so good. That's so good. And as you talk about the open door, I can think of just going out to Sydney to serve in that church there. And as we're thinking back on what God has done in this year, I know that I have been very blessed to be a part of that. That CT is not just reaching our immediate community, but community a little bit further away. Sydney being this small town, 4 streets. Our first time at the church, there were 12 persons there, and we talked about that. But they have been such impact on me going there and just seeing the joy of the Lord in a small group, and recognizing that God, He doesn't mind having 300 of us, but He does wonders in 12 and 10 and 9. And so I'm so thankful that the leadership here thinks broadly when we think about how we serve and who we serve, and just being able to go and be with the people of God there. That has just been tremendous for me to see the growth of that little church in such a short space of time. So it's been so good, and I'm thankful and hopeful that we will continue to go there and serve in whatever capacity we can. Yes.
yeah, it's such an amazing opportunity for people to get involved and
Absolutely.
outside of the church walls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have a lot of things coming up in the new year planned for families and kids and youth, and I'm really excited to be part of what God's doing here at CT through our families and through our kids. And it's been exciting to see the growth of all the families that we've had coming through the doors at CT. I think every Sunday that I'm downstairs, there's always a new family that meeting the parents, meeting the kids, and so it's really fun to see just like the community growing
Yes,
in both the
yes.
young kids and then the families that come.
Absolutely. And I think all that we do here to provide this welcoming atmosphere and this open door, just this weekend, my sister was here for the first time, and her comment at the end of church was like how warm she felt and how welcomed. And she said everyone was so welcoming and just open to her. And I said, that's what we experienced when we came here a year and a half ago. And I described it as it felt as if the church just gave us a big hug, you know. And as we're thinking about what we're thankful for, I think of the relationships. And I was very nervous about leaving Thompson after 10 years of, you know, building community, building relationship, you know, almost everyone, to start over again. But I can say that God has been so good. We've found so many great friendships here in CT, in the community, and still people we're getting to know. And as we go to the homes to have meals or we have people come over, it's just been wonderful to see that we can gather around food and have such fellowship. That's where I learned about the bouncy castle not staying inflated in whether it was at a dinner we had at our home, you know. And I learned that. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'll talk like I know next time. But I have loved the friendship. Our children have found such great friends. And our daughter Daniela said, you know, Mom, if we never moved here, I wouldn't have friends my age, because all her friends in Thompson were younger, 6 years old, 7 years old, and now she has pairs her own age at church, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing God at work in our hearts and our lives, in the kids and in the youth and in the adults and the seniors and in all of us as we move forward, and just the impact that we can have in our local community
Yes.
and in our outreach in places like Sydney and beyond. And so, yeah, excited to see how people can be empowered in their schools and in their families and in their communities as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think of our prayer ministry that we started here, and how persons have just come alongside to serve. And that prayer room that we go in before church, after church on a Sunday, there have been so many persons who have just walked in and felt comfortable enough to say, I would like to be prayed for one need or another. And so that's just been a blessing for us as a team to be able to come alongside persons who have a need and assure them that God is a God that hears and answers prayer, and to see them come back to share the testimonies of what we have prayed for in that little side room of church. It's just been amazing, and it's growing, and I'm excited to serve in that. I'm very excited about that. And thinking about the seniors ministry, that's something that I have stepped into a role to support Murray and the team that's been there, and I'm just looking forward to what God is going to be doing and how I can serve in that capacity too. And it's been great. It's been really good.
Well, happy early New Year.
Happy early New Year.
Thanks.
Happy early New Year to you.
So something I've seen God do this year is, like, just with our youth, I have seen them grasping so much onto what it means for their lives to be fully immersed with Jesus. And I mean, that looks like they're coming to church, which has been really great. It's good to come to church. But more than that, they're getting involved. I see something really important that happened in my life is when I made a big decision in my faith journey. I kind of decided, hey, I'm going to start coming to this church. It was actually here at CT, and because we were going to a different church, and my parents followed me, and that was such an important part that then I saw their faith start to grow, and now I'm seeing that reproduced now with these students, that they start saying, hey, I want to go to church, and their parents are coming, and their families are coming, and then lives are being changed, like whole families' lives are being changed by this. And so I have just like loved to see and I see it even in the kids, right? You see some families say, well, I think my kids need to learn about this. And then you
Yeah.
see the kids like reteaching it to their parents. It has just been like so encouraging to me that we look at the generation and people can look and say, oh, they're too much like this, they're too much like this.
Yeah.
But what I see is like a generation that is so passionate
Yeah.
and that wants to tell their friends about Jesus, that wants to tell their families about Jesus, that wants to share the hope and the life change that like God's been doing in their lives.
That's awesome.
So it's been a really cool time that it's funny, they'll come into the youth ministry at grade 6 and they're chaotic. They're jumping off the walls and you're like,
Got one of those.
yeah, you're like, what are they doing? Are they going to get it? And then when you start to see kids get it, it's amazing. And yeah, we're seeing just so much potential. Our leadership team, like, it's hard to find jobs for all of these students who are saying, I want to be like junior leaders.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them that are just like, yeah, like, can I take the leadership class? I'm like, usually
awesome.
you're begging people, oh, can
Yeah.
I get enough volunteers?
Where are they? I
Yeah.
need to find more.
But all these young people are like, how can I help?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's been such an encouraging time right now. And that's how I've seen God just changing lives right now.
That's amazing. And having two kiddos, well, they're not kiddos, but, well, one of them sort of, anyways. But having them in youth, it's been so great to see as they come home and share the excitement and sharing what they're learning. And I think one of the biggest things for me as a parent that's been great is to see them. It's more about critical thinking. It's about challenging their own personal faith as opposed to, well, just tell me what I need to think, right?
Yeah.
You're really teaching them how to think. And seeing some of those youth coming into youth and then maybe on Sundays and seeing their parents getting involved. I mean, just a little while back, we did a bunch of baptisms, and that was the story for two of the baptism is the child got baptized or the teen, and then the parent wanted to
Yeah.
get baptized. They wanted to make that next step in their faith journey. And that's really what has been exciting for me is to see all the different people taking those next steps
Yeah.
in their faith journeys, whether it's baptism or whether it's volunteering, joining a small group, participating in a Sunday morning service or in youth, seeing those youth joining the leadership class. I think it's so important because they're not just leaders for tomorrow, they're leaders today. I know that sounds cheesy, but
No,
it's
that's
the truth.
real.
It's the
Yeah.
truth. And seeing how God has been working in people's lives to continue those next steps in their faith journey, to me it's exciting because that's part of why I love to do what I do as a pastor is to help point people towards Jesus and see them grow. And that's one of the greatest fulfillments, I guess you could say, a sense of purpose is to seeing people grow in their relationship with Jesus. And so that's really exciting.
Yeah. It's like people ask, why do we do what we do? Like, this is literally
That's why.
why.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's been cool, to see just the deepening, I think, is really what you're talking about. Like, we're seeing discipleship isn't just in theory. We're seeing so much of, we talk about, like, tables and chairs relationship.
Yeah.
We're seeing, like, the fruit of it.
Yeah.
And, seeing lives being changed and seeing people continue to invite new people and want to share what Jesus means to them. So, yeah, it's definitely been a really cool season, and I'm, like, excited for what's going to continue to come.
Yes. Yes. So here's a pre-Happy New Year. I know it's not a Happy New Year just yet, but hey, pre-Happy New Year? Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
it
don't
is
think it's
now.
a thing. It is now.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're excited, I think, for the next year and for what it's going to bring, because I know we have so many exciting things happening. We have so many small groups continuing to happen.
Yeah.
So many just, like, people having dreams, people having plans, and God putting those in people's lives, and we're going to see them continue to come to fruition.
It's going to be great. Looking forward to 2024.
Definitely.
Hey, so some of the stuff that we thought was really special this year, for me, having the ability to be part of the 50th celebrations at CT was absolutely amazing. To be able to come behind so many great pastors who have led CT through so much stuff and growth and sustainability. It's just been absolutely phenomenal to have Dave Wells here, our general superintendent, and to celebrate with everyone. I think about the banquet that we had and just how special that was. I think that that right there is a memory that I will hold on to for most of my ministry career.
Yeah, it was a really amazing thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think kind of playing on that or building on that, I feel like this year just was a year where us as a family and as a bigger family at CT, just this really a year of just settling down and settling in. And I would say that like just a year where you're just like, and just settling in, and we're seeing just the right people in the right places with Pastor Angela taking over kids, which has just been amazing and such a welcomed and needed great transition. I think of you stepping into some roles with our district and just really planting yourself here in Manitoba. I think about our kids settling in, in school and all these things. And then even just, I don't know, little things like camp this summer, right? That we bought a trailer because we're choosing to just be here long haul. This is our home. These are our people. And it's just a really amazing and beautiful thing to be like, this is where we're choosing to grow and plant and water and all of the metaphors of growing
it's like
tree
that,
things.
That super lame Christian cliche of now it's going to completely escape from my mind.
It's good.
Doing life together. We're just doing life together. But it's the people you choose to do life with that is so important. And so I agree 100%. I think it's such a good year for us as humans to be settling in and just being happy somewhere.
Yeah, and just that, like I said, I mean, a big highlight, of course, camp this summer. We were out there for 6 weeks. I got to help out with Camp 6-8 and do worship. And first time I've ever been told by a speaker that they just love this intergenerational worship team.
She was the old one.
Realizing I'm the oldie, but
I love that too.
I didn't love it. Heart's broken. And but just all of those things, right? We helped at camp, kids camp again this year, and just really building those long-term relationships and those forever relationships and forever friends and forever memories and all of those things. And that's all about that 50th. It's all about this longevity and just a year of settling in. When you start off at a new church and it was all the weirdness, you kind of always are a little bit not sure. But now it sort of feels like we're sitting down in our big, comfy chair.
The weirdness of COVID, not that you were weird.
No, not that you were weird.
Let's clarify. They're not weird, Amberley.
We're all a little bit weird.
Not me.
And when you find someone who's weird like you, then you are weird together or something. What's that?
It's probably a proverb.
I think it's maybe Winnie the Pooh or something. But I don't know. But I feel like those were just those types of, just those relationships and those deepening of friendships and all of that has just been great this year. That's my highlight for sure. Yeah. And just seeing so many, as I'm now an old leader officially, but how many young leaders step up and step in with great amount of giftings and talents and just willing to give of themselves sacrificially over and over and over again. And I love it. Like we say, like passing batons and working ourselves out of a job. And like that's what we celebrate. I don't mourn having more young leaders on stage worship leading or having different people downstairs helping with kids. I don't mourn that. I celebrate as that time of, that's what it's about, right? That we pass on and we champion and cheerlead these next ones coming up. And I just think that's so amazing and great.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I want to share a verse before we continue with our morning. I'm sure like someone's going to win a car or something like that. I don't know what all has been planned for this morning, but
Not that.
someone may win a car.
No,
You don't know.
I do.
I know that's not in the budget. Matthew 6:33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I read this both at the last board meeting and staff meeting, and I don't know. My encouragement right now for pretty much everyone is just plant yourself and root yourself into a routine with Jesus, and just let all of the stress be the stress. It doesn't need to be your stress. It just needs to be stress somewhere else, because those things will worry about themselves. Just give it to God, however you choose to do that, and just relax into it. Because as we become people who are rooted in the Word, rooted in our relationship with Jesus, He's got everything under control.
It's a good word.
It's a great word. Mm-hmm. Declare it over 2024. No, that's weird.
Cool.
We're going to move on to the next thing we have for you this morning, and then we'll be back at the very end to pronounce a benediction.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. And angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? What the gladsome tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see Christ, whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. See him in a manger laid, whom the choirs of angels praise. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while our hearts in love we praise. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
So as we've been doing in our services at CT, at the end of each service, we will pronounce a benediction, a closing to the service after we send you out with one last song. And the benediction I usually read is from Numbers 6. And so I just want to pronounce that one more time in 2023. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Bless you, my friends.